Hello Skillr Boxers. Today we're going to break down the father of all coaches, the first man to defeat Muhammad Ali, and in fact, the man responsible for 4 of Ali's only 5 career losses. Your favourite coach's favourite coach. Eddie Futch was one of the most strategic and knowledgeable minds boxing has ever seen.
I think Eddie is like an encyclopedia of the boxing.
He trained me for approximately 4 or 5 years, and in that time, I learned more then than I did prior or after I quit my career.
Today, we're going to break down his boxing philosophy and the lessons he taught fighters such as Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes, Ken Norton, Alexis Arguello, Riddick Bowe, Mike McCallum, and today, you too. By the end of this video, you'll have learned the same concepts, tricks, and drills that helped his fighters achieve so much success. We'll also give you a workout based on Futch's training philosophy so you can apply these ideas directly to your own boxing. But to understand his philosophy, we first have to understand the man behind it. History. Eddie Futch was born in 1911 in Hillsborough, Mississippi, but was raised in Detroit. There, he develops a passion for boxing and trained in the same gym as a young Joe Louis, occasionally sparring with him. Having that caliber of sparring partner would have a tremendous impact on the lessons he learned as a fighter. Futch even won a Golden Gloves title, but he never turned professional, as he had to work to support his family during the Great Depression.
In the afternoon, I had a split shift job. I would go in the morning, be off in the afternoon, and then go back and work in the night. And I was training hard, working hard, and fighting on my day off.
Trying to train, fight, and work long shifts eventually became unsustainable. Later, after discovering he had a heart murmur, he finally stepped away from his boxing career. However, he soon found a new passion: training fighters. Futch continued working as a coach, and in 1958 he produced his first world champion, Don Jordan. From that point on, Futch trained some of the best fighters in the world. Boxers from every weight class wanted to work with him because of his analytical and strategic approach to the sport. So let's find out exactly what that philosophy was. Philosophy. Eddie Futch's philosophy wasn't like that of most coaches. Many trainers teach a specific system and expect their fighters to adapt to it. The fighter molds himself to the style of the gym. Futch worked the opposite way. He identified a fighter's strengths and then used his own knowledge to refine and maximize them while preserving the fighter's natural style and personality. That was the core of his philosophy. Build around your strengths and use them to exploit your opponent's weaknesses. He trained a wide variety of fighters. Some were short and had to bob and weave. Some were tall and preferred to move around the ring. Some were physically strong, while others were highly athletic. Of course, Futch still had key fundamentals and techniques that he taught all of his fighters, as we'll see in a moment. But he always adapted those teachings to the fighter's physical attributes, temperament, and natural tendencies. His greatest gift, however, was his ability to identify weaknesses.
I know he's strong inside. Don't lay inside doing nothing, though. You know, when you get inside, work with both hands to the body, and then shift to the head, okay?
Many fighters and trainers have spoken about Futch's almost uncanny ability to predict how a fight would turn out.
He told me one day, he goes, you know, man, look, I'm ready to go home. What do you mean? Man, glad to get rid of this fight. You know, I just double right hand, let's go home. Really? Okay. I went out there, double, I was over with. You know?
Let's go home.
It was this ability that allowed him to create brilliant game plans time and time again. And those strategies are exactly what we're about to break down. But first, let's look at the Eddie Futch style. Even though Futch built his coaching around each fighter's strengths, there were several key fundamentals that appeared across almost all of his fighters. These principles consistently gave them an edge over their opponents, and they're the same ones you're going to learn today. circling the opponent, countering the right hand, defensive details, strategy. Circling the opponent. This was one of the main concepts Futch taught his fighters to help them maintain an advantage throughout a fight. But why does circling your opponents give you an edge? Futch explained it with a simple but powerful metaphor. The bull cannot charge you if you're moving around him.
Stinging jab. Earlier in the round before the glove repair.
To attack effectively, a fighter has to be facing his opponent. By constantly circling, you force your opponent to continually reset their position, making it much harder for them to launch effective attacks. Futch often taught this concept through the jab. Every time his fighters jabbed, they would take a step to the side. They were constantly touching the opponent, changing angles, and forcing him to turn before he could respond. This allowed them to score points, control positioning, and stay one step ahead throughout the fight.
Mike Spinks was an amateur. I was tipped
In round 3, leaving in throughout this fight, but he seems solid. 13th by the World Boxing Council, and Spinks unranked right now. But
Countering the right hand. Eddie understood the importance of body punching and often taught his fighters to counter to the body whenever opportunities appeared. In particular, when defending against the opponent's rear hand, there were 2 counters he frequently taught. The first came off the shoulder roll. Futch taught his fighters to slightly lower their lead hand to bait the opponent into throwing the rear hand.
Eddie used to like me to drop my left hand a little bit and give the person a target. Let them think that they can land the right hand.
As soon as that opening appeared, many opponents couldn't resist taking the shot. Because the attack was anticipated, the fighter could roll to the inside and deflect the punch.
And once it touches my shoulder, you know it's gone. And the counter shot back was an uppercut to the body.
That same rolling motion naturally loaded the rear side of the body, allowing them to come back immediately with a powerful uppercut to the stomach. Most opponents don't expect a body shot as a counter, and because they're often overextended from their own punch, the impact becomes even more damaging. His second counter required perfect timing, but the results could be devastating. The fighter would duck underneath the opponent's rear hand while simultaneously throwing a hook to the body. Both actions had to happen at the same time. When timed correctly, the opponent has virtually no chance to defend himself and is caught by a crushing body shot before he can recover his position. These old school techniques from great coaches are often forgotten today. That's why we're bringing them back in our app, teaching the concepts and combinations that made them so effective. In our EDDIE FUTCH inspired module, you'll work on starting and ending your attacks by circling to your lead side. You'll also practice the 3 classic defensive counters featured in this video. If you're new to the channel, the Skillr Boxing app is a powerful training platform designed for both beginners and seasoned fighters. It's an especially valuable tool for fighters returning from an injury or an extended layoff who need structured training. If you already have a coach, boxing gym or fight team, the app becomes even more powerful. It allows you to drill intelligent reps outside the gym, anytime, anywhere, so you can improve faster than the competition. Never stop improving. New workouts are released every Saturday. Become a Skillr boxer with the Skillr training app. And for those who are already improving their boxing and enjoy the benefits of the app, please leave us a review. It motivates us to improve our product to help you improve your boxing. Defensive details. Futch used to say, "A boxer with no defense will have a glorious and short career." As we'll see later, Eddie strongly believed in longevity, and one of the best ways to extend a fighter's career is through sound defensive fundamentals. He had his own methods for teaching head movement.
He'd have like a circle on the ground, and you stand in the circle and he's swinging a towel at you, and you're just doing head movement and like not letting the towel touch you.
As we've already established, Futch was extremely detail oriented. He would carefully teach his fighters how to roll punches and immediately respond with counters.
EDDIE FUTCH taught me how to tilt my head and take the impact of it, and the commentators and the people didn't look at that, and that's why I'm still talking to you today. I can still count to 2.
He had a 360 approach to defense. He liked to work on the guard position and learning to be comfortable blocking and covering the right spots.
He told me that Eddie would take his mitts a lot and put them like on your body and kind of like move his hands around, and you would have to keep your hands tight to yourself and change positions a lot with the mitts pressed against you the whole time.
One defensive tool he frequently taught was the catcher's mitt. As the name suggests, instead of keeping the glove tightly closed, the fighter slightly opens the glove and uses the palm to catch incoming punches. It was precisely this technique that helps Ken Norton defend himself and counter Muhammad Ali during their first fight. Before the bout, Futch instructed Norton to keep his lead glove open beside his face, knowing Ali would constantly be probing with the jab.
Catch it with the right hand, and as soon as the jab touches the glove, he fire back.
This strategy became one of the keys to Norton's victory, although there were many other adjustments that contributed to the upset, as we'll see later. But as mentioned earlier, Futch believed strongly in longevity. Unlike some trainers who push their fighters to go to war in every sparring session, Futch understood that unnecessary punishment in the gym could shorten a fighter's career.
He goes, when I had Frazier, every time we fought Ali, I never sparred him more than 6 rounds.
Oh wow.
I'm like, really? He goes, there's other ways to get a fighter in shape besides sparring, James.
As you can see, Futch approached every aspect of boxing with the mind of a strategist. And that brings us to perhaps his greatest virtue. Strategy. Futch's most renowned talent was his ability to create brilliant game plans. It's like he had a sixth sense and knew what was going to happen before it happened. He may have been the greatest strategist boxing has ever seen, and not just inside the ring. For example, as we mentioned earlier, Futch demanded commitment from his fighters and had little patience for those who weren't fully dedicated to the sport. While preparing for a fight, he once wanted to test Riddick Bowe's commitment. He instructed Bowe to run 3 miles every day and told him everyone would be leaving so he would be on his own. What Bowe didn't know was that Futch stayed behind and secretly watched.
Far away, maybe when I'm McDonald's time, I can see somebody, but I really can't tell what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm running, and I'm running, As I see whatever it is that comes into view, pop a smoke. And I couldn't believe that he was out there that early, seeing that I was running.
His reasoning was simple. If nobody was checking on him and he still went for the run, then he was truly committed. That same strategic mindset was responsible for 4 of the 5 defeats suffered by Muhammad Ali. In the first Ali v Fraser fight, Futch noticed that Ali often dropped his right hand after throwing the rear uppercut. Because of this tendency, he instructed Fraser to throw the lead hook whenever he saw Ali's right hand dip.
We were attempting to lure Ali into throwing the uppercut. Our strategy then was to have been to step into the left hook as he threw the uppercut.
The punch landed repeatedly throughout the fight and eventually produced one of the most iconic knockdowns in boxing history. Against Ali, Ken Norton was considered a massive underdog. Ali was coming off strong performances, including a victory over Joe Bugner, and very few people gave Norton a chance. Once again, Futch found the weakness. He instructed Norton to jab with Ali using the catcher's mitt. Every time Norton felt Ali's jab touch his glove, he was to fire his own jab immediately in return. He also instructed Norton to double up the jab in order to back Ali towards the ropes. Once there, Futch had identified another habit. Ali often leaned back against the ropes and squared himself up to evade punches to the head. So Futch told Nilton to attack the body instead. The game plan worked perfectly. Time and time again, EDDIE FUTCH showed the unmatched ability to identify weaknesses and build strategies around his fighters' strengths. That was the foundation of his genius. However, other coaches have a much more rigid style and will adapt their boxers to that style until it's exactly how they want it. In our next episode, we will be looking at perhaps the most recognizable boxing style ever taught, and the coach who taught it. If you want to follow the full Skillr Coaches series, you can find the playlist here with all the episodes. And if you don't want to miss future episodes, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.